When you're scaling a business, using the right tools isn't just about saving you time, they multiply your results. Today, I'm going to walk you through my entire tool stack that has helped me make $3 million in business, organized by what they help me do. Attract more clients, save time, stay organized, elevate my content and team. Let's just jump into it. So first is my email marketing software. I am a huge advocate for email marketing because I believe that that is a channel that you own, because anybody who gives you their email address, you actually have that email address. Unlike, for example, if you have followers on social media like YouTube, like Instagram, like TikTok, if those platforms disappear, then your followers also disappear as well. But when it comes to emails and your own email list, this is where I really believe the money is generated. For me, I know that the nurturing process is so important. People don't just buy from you straight away. Sometimes it takes them weeks, if not months, if not years even, for them to really truly warm up and start building trust in you before they buy. So Kit is one of my favorites. I believe that in terms of functionality and price, Kit sits at that middle ground, which is quite nice. So I feel that it's perfect for someone who is just starting out, and it's also perfect for that person who is scaling. Now, my Kit and also all of my other software that I'll show you in today's video is going to be a complete mess. I'm just going to show you the true behind the scenes of what I do inside my business, because to be honest, I put off filming this video for a very long time, probably almost a year now, because I felt like I needed to clean things up, make it look pretty for you. But it just got to a point where I was like, you know what, this is not going to happen. So here it is, mess and all. So essentially what I do is I send out weekly emails nurturing my audience on topics that I believe they would find a value in. Now, I do weekly emails through broadcasts. The other thing I also do is automated emails as well. In Kit, this is called sequences. So for example, this is a lead magnet that I have available for download. And anytime somebody actually downloads this lead magnet, I have a 3-part email series that automatically gets sent out. This is great because I don't have to manually do it, and it nurtures those leads in the exact same way. I absolutely love these automated sequences because it just helps save me time. I don't need to create these emails every single time or send them out manually myself. Kit does that for me. And so I know in the background that as I'm working on other needle moving drivers in my business, that my email software is nurturing my audience for me. Now, the one thing that I love about email software, and this is the case for any email software that you set up for yourself, is that you can actually track the type of interactions your lead has with your business. So in Kit, this is called tags. So essentially, if somebody downloads a lead magnet, I can group them in this group that has downloaded this particular lead magnet, the biggest mistakes. If they've downloaded my other lead magnet called Get Consistent Students, then they get placed into that group. And so if I go into a subscriber's history, it's crazy the type of information you get to see, because you get to see exactly which emails have been sent to them, which emails they've actually opened and read, versus which ones had just been delivered and were unread, which ones were actually clicks, and then they actually get a better sense of what is interesting for that person versus not. But going back to the tags, you can see here that I can actually see over the course of time the type of actions this lead has made throughout my business, what they've actually interacted with. And so based on those interactions, I can make more informed decisions of what I'd actually want to market to this person. So if I know that they're already interested in my mastermind, which it seems like they are because they've interacted with it twice, then perhaps the next thing for me to do is actually promote this mastermind for this specific lead one more time to try to get them on board. So as you can see, email software allow you more insights into your customers that you might not necessarily get through your followers on social media. Next is Webflow. Webflow is where I host my website. The great thing about Webflow is that it has higher functionality for you to modify your website compared to, say, WordPress or Squarespace or Wix. Now, you do need to have some sort of coding experience when it comes to Webflow. For me, I didn't want to learn how to do Webflow. I do know the foundations and the basics, but I do hire web developers to actually design my website for me. It's not as advanced as, say, coding an entire website completely from scratch, which I know I definitely don't need, but I realized that I needed more customizations that weren't available to me when I had a WordPress website. The problem with WordPress was that when I was trying to customize my website, I found that the more plugins I added to my website, the more of a Jenga it just kind of created, and some things would break, others wouldn't, and my website really slowed down as a result. So that's the other good thing about Webflow. They are very much SEO first, search engine optimization in mind, so that your website can rank well. Next is ManyChat, which is a chatbot that helps us automate our lead email capture. So you would have seen on Instagram something along the lines of comment whatever word, in this case it's email, and I'll DM you the link to watch the full video. Now, I don't actually DM manually because that would be a lot of emails. Anytime somebody actually comments email, I will then send them an automated message which was set up in ManyChat. So for this particular sequence, the automation looks a little bit like this. So basically the idea is that whenever a user replies to my story, my post, or my reel, and they actually use the word email, then it would trigger the following DM for that person. So, hey Tutor Boss, struggling with leads that ghost after the first call. I've put together 5 proven emails to convert more clients. Want the templates? If they click yes, we have some conditions in place here. I'm going to be honest, I don't know why this is here. I didn't set this up, my social media marketer did, but I'm sure she has very good reason to do so. But essentially the key here is that we're taking them through a conversation. And the idea, if I follow this, is that we'll ask the lead for their email address. And when they give us the email, they get added to this kit tag, and then that tag triggers this automation. And so they get a series of emails from us where they get a copy of the lead magnet, as well as some more information about Tutor Boss and what we do. Now, in the case where people don't actually fill in the email address, we have follow-up DMs as well. So here's an example of a behind the scenes DM where somebody has actually messaged in a keyword that we've set up a ManyChat in connection to. So whenever they type in sales system, the ManyChat gets triggered. Then here is our automation. Tired of chasing new leads when your old ones are ghosting? Want my simple diagram to turn them to paying clients? They click yes, which pops up here. And then we say, hey, is this your email? Especially if we've already got them in our system. Instagram and ManyChat will be able to find that email already. Otherwise, it will ask them for their email. So they say yes or no, and then we send it across to them. All of this is automated. And so this is how I continue to grow my lead database and continue to grow my business without me actually needing to be involved in the step-by-step processes. All right, let's talk about content creation. I absolutely love Loom. Loom is an app that you can actually have on your desktop, and anytime you click onto it, you can record your entire screen. You can also include you visually as well. So with Loom, I love it because you can record your entire desktop. You can also record yourself, overlay with the video, and I use this for everything. You can see here that I'm using it currently right now to film this YouTube video. I also use it to help me work with my team. If I have a task that I need to delegate to my team, then I will create a Loom for them, especially if I need to show them a little bit of a step-by-step, and it's better for me to communicate this visually. So I will do so here. I'll also use Loom to film my program. So one of my signature programs, Master Your Tutoring Game Plan, was filmed completely using Looms. I think the use case for Loom is incredibly diverse, and I also believe that it really up levels and lifts the communication between you and your clients, you and your team members as well, because they can not only see you and hear you, but they can also visually see what you're looking at. Next is Canva. Big shout out to Canva. Everybody uses Canva, so I don't think I really need to go into this in much detail, but we use Canva for everything, including all social posts. I also use it for my slides, for my programs, and we also use it to create our lead magnets as well. By the way, all the software I've talked about in today's video is in my life-changing business tools handbook. So if you wanted to have access to all of the links, including any coupons, any referral links, bonuses that you can score, then go ahead and download that so that you can get started with some of the software today. Next is Zoom. I love using Zoom. I am a Zoom girl. Probably don't need to dive into that in too much detail because everybody knows Zoom, or otherwise they're probably on Google Meets. But I also did want to add in lesson space. So if you are a tutor and you are finding that you want a little bit more of a robust platform where you can teach, I highly recommend Lesson Space. I love the team over at Lesson Space as well. They're doing incredible things to help support teachers and tutors. You can use a whiteboard and actually record all of your lesson notes in the one place. So everything is basically centralized, making your life as a teacher or tutor much easier. Now, I pair Zoom with Otter AI. So I love having an AI software record everything that is going on in my sessions because I have a lot of calls and it can be hard to remember absolutely everything that's been covered inside these calls. So whenever I need to summarize a session that I've conducted or I need to prepare for the next session, I will actually go into my previous sessions with this client and review what we've actually discussed. The great thing is that Otter has a summary available for you so you can really quickly get a general sense of what was covered to trigger your memory, but also it has action items as well. So this is one way that I can check in on my clients, but also myself if there were any action items that I walked away from the call in needing to do, particularly if it's with my team members. You've also got the transcript, so if you needed to re-listen to anything, if there was something mentioned in a call that was too fast for you or you didn't write down notes, then this is a great way to keep track of what actually happened. I also really like Otter because I'm quite a visual person and seeing screenshots of what we actually did inside that session really helps to trigger my memory and what we talked about. But then the other thing is that it's integrated with ChatGPT as well. So if you've got questions, for example, hey, Otter, write up a follow-up email, then you can actually just plug it in right here as well. I really enjoy using Otter in this way because that means that during my sessions with a client or with a team member, I can just focus on what they're talking about without needing to stress about writing down notes. And so on the note about talking about notes, where do I actually store all of my resources? I like using Google Drive. I like keeping it easy, and Google Drive is just very universal, so everybody can access. Most people are pretty familiar with Google Drive. So for example, with my mastermind resources, I will actually put all of my resources in this one space for all of my clients to access. Same thing with my team. For example, we collate testimonials, and so when we collate testimonials, we have a folder with all the testimonials for different products that we have available. And then within each folder, we keep our screenshots. And if you're specifically a tutor or teacher, then you'll also know that I really love Tutorbird as a tutor student management software that you can use to really streamline your tutoring business. The great thing about Tutorbird is that you can actually have all of your tutors log in to Tutorbird and be connected with their students and vice versa. So have all of the student details in here. And with the students, they can schedule in their lessons inside Tutorbird. They can reschedule their sessions. They can also check their own invoices and make payments. So it's just a very centralized place for you to do all of your administration when it comes to parents and students. All right, let's now talk about time management. So I use Sunsama as my daily to-do list. I personally really love Sunsama because it is not just good looking for one, but the way that I use it is, you can see here, I am filming 1 to 2 YouTube videos today. I'm on my second video, which is great. It's taken me about 2 hours, but that's fine. I've planned for 3 hours to do this video. So in a way, I plan what my day looks like and I can actually play when I'm ready to actually do that task. And it just gets me into the mindset of, cool, I am doing this task at this moment in time. And it's a really great way for me to gauge how good of a predictor I am with certain tasks. And over time, you'll find that initially you might not be as good, but slowly, as you do this more and more, you get better at recognizing how long a task should actually take you. And so you get better at predicting how much you should load yourself up for the day. I used to find that I would be overwhelmed and would always feel like I never was caught up and never felt like I got enough done in the day. And that's because I often underpredicted how much time a task would take me. Whereas now I know that if I'm filming videos, it will take me about 3 hours. The gym will take me about an hour and so forth. And so you can see my day already. You can also time box your tasks as well if you prefer to look at things a little bit more visually. Change the amount of time that you're actually spending on each task as well. What I like about Sunsama, which is different from other apps that I've used, is that it seems to marry a little bit of mindfulness in with your to-do list. So there are daily rituals like daily planning, your daily shutdown, and also your daily highlights that you can also incorporate as well. And for me personally, I'm a big journaler. I find journaling to be incredibly helpful to help me shut off at the end of the day. So this works perfectly in line with helping me feel mentally ready the next day. The next thing that saves me time is Zapier. So it basically connects different apps with one another so that you can automate repetitive tasks. What I really love about recent upgrades in Zapier is that when you go to create a Zap, so for example, I want to automate a reminder for a new lead. So let's just say that they've come through Kit and I want them to notify me on Slack. Zapier now has AI that can actually help you build out this funnel so you don't feel like you're completely from scratch, not knowing what you need to do. So you can see we have lots and lots of Zaps just to help us automate putting information from one area into another. As an example, we use Thrivecart for our checkout process. Now, if somebody makes a purchase, we just want to make sure that they're actually granted their program inside their dashboard. And because our program is hosted on Kajabi, Thrivecart and Kajabi don't normally talk to each other, but by connecting the two through a Zap, now whenever somebody purchases on Thrivecart, they will be granted to the program that they've purchased. The next app that I use is Perplexity Pro, which is what I go to for rapid research and problem solving on the fly. So I almost see Perplexity as an assistant to me now, and just like my coworker, my teammate that I just want to bounce ideas with. I really rely on it quite a bit these days. I use it for literally everything. So for example, I run a mastermind, and anytime I am trying to think about certain ideas, certain things to solve in the mastermind, or certain ways of running the mastermind, I'll always feed my thoughts inside Perplexity, just so that it can speak back out to me any missing gaps that I might have. So as an example, we have a Slack channel inside our mastermind, and one of the challenges that we had initially was that we were dealing with low engagement on the platform. And so I bounced ideas with Perplexity to try to figure out what are some ways that we could actually improve the engagement of the Slack. And since then, we've implemented a few different things across the board, and now we have plenty of engagement and we have solved this problem. Okay, let's talk about teamwork and operations, how to build a powerhouse team. So I use ClickUp for our project management. This is where we can organize our projects, track progress, and coordinate launches across our team. I have a team of 5 and we find it incredibly helpful to all be on the same page with what we're actually working on. So here's an example. This is our content creation board. And as our content gets created and moves towards publishing, we move the cards across the different columns, and different tasks are assigned to different people. So for example, if it is my turn to actually review the social media content, then it will be marked for me. If it is for my social media marketer, then it will be assigned to her. And inside each card, we have literally everything we need for that one piece of content that we're creating. So we've got the title of the social media content. We've also got the link to the piece of content itself, the caption that we're working on, and on the side, this is where me and my team member will actually converse and collaborate on the piece of content itself. Next is Notion. So Notion is essentially the Wikipedia for my business. It's the centralized place where I store information in terms of any SOPs, any resources for myself and my team. So this is our main dashboard here. And as you can see, this is our current focus, what we're working on. And here are some quick links for my team members, including our general products and services that we have on offer for the business, passwords to software, and our overall roadmap for the year. Now, there's also the resource library. So under marketing, for example, we have all the different campaigns that we've worked on throughout the entire year. And if you click through to one of the campaigns, you'll be able to see the briefing and debrief for that particular campaign, the lessons that we learn, the lessons that we're taking away, and what we improve on next time. We also have our SOPs in the one place as well. So this is an SOP on how to label and organize our testimonials so that everybody, regardless of which part of the business they work on, have a mutual understanding of how we actually record and upload our testimonials. And guess what? I use Perplexity to help me create this. Next is Slack. So outside of our meetings, Slack is where we communicate and work together asynchronously. Slack is different from ClickUp. We're not working inside Slack itself, but it's more just a place for us to communicate to one another. So for example, every single week on a Friday, I will actually add into our Tutor Boss channel, which has every team member, updates on what's happening with the business and actually what is coming up, just so that we're all on the same page. I then have individual channels with each of my team members, and then we have select channels that we've created depending on the use case. So for example, this one here, marketing and sales, combines our marketing team and our sales team for any conversations that need to be had there. This is a channel for our team retreat. So very excitingly, I will be taking my team to Vietnam in November this year for an in-person multi-day bonding, working event. So everything in this channel has to do with logistics and getting ready for that retreat. Now let's talk about finances. So I like using Xero. I've been using Xero for like 10 years. I think visibility on your finances is crucial as a business owner. So if you aren't using some sort of accounting software to understand what money comes in, what money goes out, where you're actually spending that money on, then it's something that you need to do straight away, because having that visibility on what's actually happening in your business helps you feel a lot more empowered, and therefore you make much more informed decisions with how to actually spend your money. So one of my favorite things to do inside my Xero is actually look at the profit and loss. I check in on my profit and loss every single month just to make sure that I am on track to the financial goals that I've set for the year, and that there isn't anything that is coming out as a surprise. So I break down my revenue based on the different products we have available on offer. And by breaking it down in this way, I can actually say, oh, my mastermind is my biggest product that I am selling. And then based on that, it's the idea of, okay, well, do we still want that to be the biggest product? Or do we want to focus on something else in the business so that we can generate more money elsewhere? I also look at administrative costs as well. I'm always checking in on how much my team is costing me, if there are any unusual expenses that are coming up, just really monitoring things so that I feel in control of the growth of my business and where I actually want to spend my money. Now, this is actually an exercise that I do with my clients as well to help them gain that sense of empowerment through understanding their numbers. So if this is something that you're interested in and you'd like me to cover it in more detail in the future, especially if you feel like you don't really have that sense of financial understanding of your business, then let me know in the comment section below and I'll create a video for it in the future. Now, I'm going to throw in a bonus software that has really changed my life. I really enjoy it. Now, the last app is a personal app that I want to throw in, and it's called Mindera. This is my journaling app. And I, again, find it really helpful to journal my thoughts, particularly if I've had a busy work period, if I'm thinking a lot about work, or if there's something stressful that is on my mind. So the great thing about Mindera is that it is AI powered. So when you actually write and complete your journal entries, you can actually see your history. It will generate a beautiful illustration representing the journal for you. I think what I really love about Mindera is that it will actually break down the emotions that you're experiencing on that particular entry, and it will also tell you why you are feeling that way, and it will tell you how it actually got to that conclusion through the words that you had entered. It's got an insight section where you can do a bit of habit tracking. You can see which days you actually journaled. You can also see your emotional state as well, so trending this week versus trending over last month, and even trending this year, you could potentially see. It breaks down your personality, reoccurring topics that you tend to write about, and also gives you suggestions on what you can do to improve your life. The other thing is that you can also ask anything from your journal. So for example, I have an upcoming video where I will be covering my biggest learnings over the past year. And so what I did was I actually went into the journal and asked my journal, what are the biggest lessons I've learned over the past year? And it helped me identify some of those, which was basically a springboard into my scripting for that YouTube video. So these are all the tools I use on a daily basis to help me save time, work more efficiently, work more productively, but also just have peace of mind as well. I think these software are just so incredible, especially when you find the right one that suits you. So if there's any that I've shared today that you'd love to look into more details, then go ahead and download that lead magnet that I have for you, the handbook of my life-changing business tools. Inside it, again, if I have a coupon available for you, which I definitely do for Tutorbird, Lesson Space, a few others as well, then you may as well just leverage it, use it for your advantage, and have a play around with these software. You'll find that certain software align with you more than others, and often it's only through just doing and actually working on these software that you start to realize, I really like this feature versus, I really wish it had this feature. And so that's when you might go on and maybe try to discover a different software that might be a little bit more aligned with you. If you found this video helpful, I'd love for you to leave in the comment section which software has absolutely changed your life in business. I would love to know. That way maybe I can check it out myself. Otherwise, if you're all about saving time, working more efficiently so that you can have a lifestyle business, then I think this video over here about how I created a lifestyle business may be pretty insightful for you. If you're somebody who wants to make money while you sleep, I mean, who doesn't? Then I think some of the tactics I have in this video will help you on that journey. All right, friends, I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.